sometimes it's really interesting and correlate what you find with the stethoscope with the echocardiography, which nowadays is gold standard to assess valvular heart disease. So, aortic stenosis, I told you it's one of the most frequent, 2 to 7% of the population above 65 years in the US have an aortic stenosis. Is a disease of the elderly. We are becoming more and more old, and this is something that degenerates easily in the old days. The diagnosis is easily made. Either you hear something, a murmur that you discover when you are examining the patient before going to the OR, or you have a patient that presents with acute angina, a syncope, or acute heart failure. And one of the big challenges that led always to the discussion is a low flow, low gradient aortic stenosis, which is difficult to diagnose. You have a patient that presents with a normal left ventricular size, a marked hypertrophy, and a history of hypertension. This is a characteristic of the patient with low flow, low gradient. And physically, if you go and do echocardiogram, what you find usually is an area of the aortic valve which is lower than 0.1 centimeter square meter. You have a low stroke volume, you have low ejection, and you have a low gradient. This low stroke volume mimics the low gradient. And you see here in this slide where the gradient is the difference between the left ventricular pressure and the aortic pressure is low. It's not important. In echo, so it's not a severe aortic stenosis, but you are a little bit in doubt because the patient is not doing well, looking badly, and something which is easy to discover or to provoke this huge gradient. You give a little bit of butamine, and you see that the gradient increases dramatically in these patients with low flow, low gradient aortic stenosis. And the other situation which may present this patient is with severe hypertension. They decompensate, make hypertensive crisis, and then in the echo, you don't find a big gradient again. Here, look at this, it's almost no different. It's severely hypertensive patient with a systolic pressure around 200. And the reason again is a very low flow. And in this patient with a normal ejection fraction, look carefully to your left ventricular end diastolic filling pressure, or if you use PA catheter, I think it's one of the good indication for the use of a PA catheter, what is your wedge pressure, which is really high, it's above 30 milliliters mercury, in a patient which has a normal ejection fraction. And the easy things to do to solve this problem is to give some vasodilator, and you decrease dramatically left ventricular end diastolic pressure or your wedge pressure, and you show now the gradient of this low flow, low gradient aortic stenosis at the presentation. The use of vasodilator is always a big issue and always a point of discussion. But there is this very nice old study that should illustrate very nicely which is the concept of the use of vasodilators in severe aortic stenosis and a low flow, low gradient aortic stenosis particularly. Patients were treated with nitroglycerin, which was titrated, and you see how significantly cardiac output increases. And it's classic, a 1.6 liters per square meter cardiac output is the presentation of this patient. You see that heart rate does not increase with the use of nitroglycerin, it remains more or less stable. And interestingly, the mean arterial pressure decreases a little bit, but it's not dramatically. It's exactly what you like to have a mean arterial pressure around 70 millimeters mercury. And the important effect, as I showed before, on pulmonary arterial fluid pressure and the congestions to the lung, which decreases significantly using this approach. Of course, it's a mechanical problem, and aortic stenosis are not there to be treated with drugs, but they need an operation or replacement of the aortic valve. And the class 1 and class 1A indication are a severe symptomatic aortic stenosis. then if you have an aortic stenosis with a patient with a decreased left ventricular ejection fraction, this is also a good indication to go to the OR. And if you have severe to moderate aortic stenosis together with a coronary artery disease that need bypass surgery, of course, this is also an indication to do both things together and not to be constricted or obliged to operate a patient half a year later due to this aortic stenosis. Catheter replacement of aortic valve is coming more and more into the field, particularly for the elderly population, and the results are more and more encouraging and show clearly that you have some benefit with less complication. That is exactly what you want to achieve with this transfemoral introduction of valvular aortic valves. And importantly, what you have to know as an intensive is a patient who has received a TAVI half a year before and suddenly he decompensates again. Look whether this patient may has aortic paravalvular regurgitation, and it is known and shown in several studies that patients with paravalvular leg have much poorer prognosis than patients without paravalvular leg, and this need to be fixed by the cardiologist or the cardiac surgeon. So let's come to mitral valve regurgitation. It's important. We distinguish two types of valvular mitral valve regurgitation: the primary dysfunction of the valve, where the apparatus of the valve is affected, and the secondary, it's probably the most frequent cause in the ICU of severe mitral regurgitation, when you have a dilation of the heart, when the geometry doesn't match again for this. And this is a problem that you need to be aware and look for it. Of course, echocardiography, there are several criteria. There are semi-quantitative criteria, I don't go into the details now, and you have quantitative criteria to assess the severity of this huge mitral regurgitation at this stage. And it's importantly here also to know that some patients, you will discover severe mitral regurgitation once you are trying to wean from mechanical ventilation. And exercise may induce severe valvular disease, and this is also, I think, something nice to discover when if you have a PA catheter in a patient, you may suspect that he has left heart failure while you wean the patient. Certainly you discover this huge wave here that appears when the patient exercises or takes an effort and increases his full artery pressure. So, which are the indications of the repair of the mitral regurgitation? They are essential and urgent indication where you need to go to the OR, for example, for rupture of the papillary muscle following myocardial infarction or severe endocarditis. In these patients, you may bridge to transplant to the valve replacement using intra-aortic balloon pump. It's maybe one of the good indications to use these devices nowadays. And if it's a chronic thing, then you need to look at the clinics, and if he has symptoms, then he needs to go to OR. Also here, the transcatheter repair of the valve and mitral valve become more and more popular. In several years there are possibility to wrap the mitral leaflets together with a mitral clip, for example, and significantly decrease the regurgitation fraction of this patient. In a large study conducted over 5 years, we have now the results available. We know that the replacement, the catheter approach of repair of the mitral valve doesn't affect mortality, but which is the major benefit of it, that you need, it's less invasive, although you may need surgery later on. If you compare to direct surgical repairs have less interventions and have a better outcome than the mitral clip itself. So the indication to this intervention needs to be done carefully. To conclude, another thing which is really important to figure out, because it has a relevant hemodynamic impact in the outcome of your patient is severe tricuspid regurgitation. And this is something easy to diagnose. You have, all of our patients have central venous line. And look at the trace of the curve of the CVP. And if your patient starts to exercise, try to become more active, or you try to wean him from the ventilator, or you intubate the patient because of RDS, and suddenly you discover a huge V valve in the CVP line, which may mimic the right ventricular pressure curve. This is a clear indication that this patient has a severe mitral regurgitation, and this may be the cause or the cofactor for the low cardiac output that you may find in this patient itself. Echocardiography, of course, is here. The mean to assess is easily. You have to look whether the right ventricle, how it works, and to see whether how large or severe this tricuspid regurgitation is. There are criteria, echocardiographic criteria. Don't want to go into details here now, but you can look and read it in several review articles that you will find. And which is the interesting thing, in our days, most of those patients are elderly patients. The replacement of the tricuspid valve surgically with a mechanical valve is always a big problem. You have to anticoagulate the patient, and it may lead to thrombotic events. So surgery is more and more in our days, particularly in the elderly population, replaced by transcatheter methods. And there are several methods where you try to regain the annulus, to close the annulus, and to tighten the valve using a catheter technique. I think this is a promising technique for the future. Look at this patient in example. What is the impact of decreasing the regurgitation of the mitral valve? And another solution that you may use is very old patient, and we have problems due to the severe regurgitation that you may see in the CT scan. Look at this, is a big regurgitation of the contrast media that goes down into the hepatic veins. And if you replace or you put a TAVI into the position at the end of the inferior vena cava or superior and superior vena cava, you can decrease significantly. You look at the effect on the CVP. This is before intervention, this is immediately after intervention, and this is 9 months later. You have significant recompensation, and the hemodynamic effect is huge. Look at here, you have the cardiac output of 3.5 before intervention, and goes up to 5, between 5 and 6 immediately after the intervention itself, and the right arterial pressure significantly decreases in this patient. So it's an option that, as a salvage therapy for an elderly person that you cannot wean due to severe tricuspid regurgitation. Take-home messages. Don't forget the clinical assessment is important beside echocardiography for patients with acute decompensated valvular heart disease. The new methods that are not associated with a surgical intervention, a promising method, but we need more data to establish those treatments. But I think that looks good for the future. And remember that the medical treatment of a valvular disease is always a bridge to repair of the valve, and because it is a mechanical problem. Thank you very much for your attention.